If you've ever cried yourself to sleep over someone who couldn't even bother to text you back, if you've ever told yourself, maybe I'm just asking for too much, just to excuse how little they give, then this episode is for you. You are not desperate, you are not broken, but you are trauma bonded, hooked on a high of love that only shows up when you're about to give up. And I want you to know that is not love. That's survival mode dressed up as intimacy. This kind of relationship keeps you guessing. One moment you feel chosen and the next discarded. You become addicted to their attention because they trained you to believe that crumbs, well, they're a feast. And worse, you blame yourself for starving. Today, we're going to unravel this. We're going to talk about why it hurts and why you can't let go. Why your heart keeps dragging you back to the person who just keeps breaking it. And I want you to know that you're not crazy. You're just coping. And when you understand the psychology behind trauma bonds, emotional addiction, and breadcrumbing, you'll stop blaming yourself and finally start breaking free. This is your sign to stop surviving a love that slowly is killing your self-worth. Welcome back to Chaotic Unbothered, where we're healing isn't just pretty, but it's honest. So let's get into it. If this episode's already hitting something deep, pause for 1 second and hit follow. Save this for later if you know you'll need to hear it again. And send it to a friend who keeps going back to the one who's just breaking them. Let's start with something no one tells you soon enough. Just because it feels intense doesn't mean it's real. Just because it feels like love doesn't mean it's safe. You might be in something that looks like love, sounds like love, even hurts like love, but it's not love. It's survival mode. And when love and pain come bundled together, your nervous system starts responding to emotional chaos the same way it would to physical danger. You're not bonding, you're bracing. What you're really feeling is anxiety paired with longing. The combo is powerful. It creates emotional confusion. You end up obsessing over their attention, craving those tiny moments when they're soft or loving, because the rest of the time, you're starving. This is the classic intermittent reinforcement, and it's not accidental. It's the psychological backbone of trauma bonds. They give you enough attention to keep you hooked, but never enough to feel secure. It's not love, it's a cycle of emotional deprivation and reward. And you're stuck trying to earn the connection that should have been given freely. Your brain gets flooded with dopamine when they love bomb you, then crashes when they pull away or punish you with silence. That crash, it feels like withdrawal. It is withdrawal. That's why you're constantly chasing the next high, the next sweet word, the next moment of maybe they'll finally see me. But here's the twist. If you grew up around unpredictable love, this won't feel toxic to you, but it will feel familiar. Your nervous system may have been trained to find chaos comforting and silencing terrifying. So now peace feels boring. Love that doesn't hurt, well, that's fake, because your body has been taught to brace for disappointment. You don't have to earn love by suffering. You don't have to abandon yourself just to feel seen. Real love doesn't keep you anxious. It lets you exhale. And I know, leaving chaos feels like walking away from passion, but what you're really leaving is emotional instability dressed up as fate. Love isn't supposed to make you sick. It's supposed to make you stronger. So if you feel like you're losing yourself in this relationship, that's the sign. It's not love. It's survival. And wild ones, you weren't put here to survive someone else. You were made to thrive on your own terms. So now you're probably asking, if it's not love, then what is it? Why does it feel so damn intense? Why does walking away feel just impossible? Like I'm grieving a soulmate instead of escaping a cycle? The answer is trauma bonding. A trauma bond, that's a deep emotional attachment that forms between a person and someone who has hurt you. But it also occasionally rewards them. The reward doesn't have to be grand. It could be an apology, a "you're my person" moment, a text 3 days after the silence. It is not the consistency that hooks you, it's the contrast. Your brain becomes addicted to that contrast between pain and relief. It's not that you're weak, it's that your nervous system is caught in a cycle of abuse and reward. It's treating that cycle like safety because it's predictable. You begin to associate pain with connection. You think if you just love harder, sacrifice more, explain yourself better, they'll finally treat you right. But the truth, that cycle is the whole point. It keeps you small, dependent, and disoriented. And when they do show you affection, after a fight, after ignoring you, after making you question your entire worth, it doesn't just feel good. It feels euphoric, like relief, like proof you're not crazy, like maybe this time will be different. That momentary relief is your brain chemistry reacting. Dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin flooding your system. But that high, it's short lived because the crash is coming again. And every time you stay, that bond tightens. And every time you forgive what broke you, your body learns to normalize the betrayal. It's especially brutal when you already been conditioned to accept pain as love. Like if you grew up with emotionally unavailable parents or were taught that your needs make you difficult. People who grew up in households full of chaos often mistake the intensity for intimacy. And it's not your fault you learned survival as a love language, but it is your birthright to unlearn it. And let me be really clear here. This doesn't just happen in obvious abusive relationships. You can be trauma bonded to someone who never hit you, never screamed at you, never even cheated, but who invalidated you every time you had a need, who made you question your memory, who apologized only when you threatened to leave. Emotional abuse hides in subtle things, and the things that are just believable enough to make you doubt your gut. And now, here's the truth that no one tells you. If someone's love only shows up after they've hurt you, it's not love. It's manipulation wrapped in apology. You are not hard to love. You are just conditioned to feel safe in places that broke you. So let's talk about the part that people rarely admit out loud. You know this person is toxic. You know they're hurting you, but you still can't stop thinking about them. And when you try to let go, it feels like your body goes into full-blown panic mode, like you're breaking and not healing. That's not a weakness. That's not trauma drama. That's an emotional addiction. Because yes, you can get addicted to a person, especially one who gives you inconsistent affection, unpredictable communication, and moments of love that feels like air when you're drowning. And if this still feels like you, well, you're not alone. And let's break it down even further. Here's what happens behind the scenes. Every time they show up with love, after days of silence, after a cruel comment, after a fight, your brain gets flooded with dopamine, that feel good chemical that's also tied to addiction. And when they disappear again, or criticize you, or go cold, that dopamine drops. Cortisol rises, your stress hormones spike, your nervous system gets thrown into the fight or flight, begging for a fix. So, of course, you feel obsessed. Of course, you check their socials. Of course, you fantasize about them coming back changed. Your body is literally trying to restore balance the only way it knows how, by going back to the source of the pain and the relief. This is why it feels impossible to leave, even when you know you should. You're not chasing them. You're chasing the version of yourself that felt loved in their arms, even if that version only existed for 30 seconds after they made you cry. You are not broken from missing someone who hurt you. You're healing from a pattern that taught you pain equals love. Here's what makes emotional addiction especially brutal. You start believing that this is what love is supposed to feel like: anxiety, highs and lows, constant proving. And healthy love, the kind that's calm, grounded, respectful, that starts to feel suspicious. Like it's just too easy, too boring, just not passionate enough. But that's the trauma talking. The craving for chaos isn't your personality. It's your nervous system doing what it was trained to do: respond to danger like it's familiar comfort. Withdrawal from a trauma bond feels like quitting a drug. You may feel empty, depressed, shaky. You might second guess your entire decision. You tell yourself they weren't that bad. You'll romanticize the few good moments that you had. But those good moments don't erase the pattern, they reinforce it. Your body is learning to function without the constant chemical roller coaster. Missing them doesn't mean you should go back. It means your body is detoxing from something it never should have gotten hooked on in the first place. Allow yourself to feel the ache without mistaking it for evidence that you need them. You are not healing so you can return to the chaos. You are healing so you never again crave what harms you. Here's the truth that hurts like hell. Breaking a trauma bond doesn't feel like freedom at first. It feels like death. Not because you're weak, but because you were conditioned to believe that their love, even when it was cold, withholding, or cruel, that was your oxygen. And when you finally decide to cut that cord, your body reacts like it's suffocating. But that panic, that ache, that heaviness in your chest when you go no contact or stop checking their socials, that's not evidence that you need them. It's proof that you're finally withdrawing from the very thing that kept you stuck. Trauma bonds don't unravel with logic. They have to be disrupted emotionally and physiologically. You can't think your way out. You have to retrain your entire system to stop seeing them as safety. Now let's talk about the psychology of breaking the cycle. Number one, start with the radical truth. Write down every time they made you feel small, every lie, every moment you had to explain basic respect. Stop romanticizing their potential and sit with the reality. The second thing, cut the dopamine drip. No checking their feed, no late night scrolling to see if they miss you. This is chemical withdrawal. You can't heal if you're still sneak feeding yourself the fantasy. And number three, flood yourself with truth. Podcasts, journaling, support groups, therapy, TikToks that slap you back into reality. Your brain needs repetition because the lies they fed you became your inner voice, and it is time you rewrite it. The last one, regulate your body. Healing isn't just in your mind. Practice breath work, cold showers, move your body, let yourself cry. Teach your nervous system that calm isn't danger. It's your new home. You don't chase peace through someone who thrives in your confusion. You're allowed to be loved without constantly being triggered. Here's something no one tells you when you're healing from emotional addiction. You'll grieve for the version of yourself that waited by the phone, that clung to hope, that accepted silence as stability. And it's time to let her go. She served her purpose. She is not who you are anymore. You are not hard to love. You are just trying to bloom in poisoned soil. The bond you're breaking isn't just to them. It's to the version of you who thought pain meant love. If this helped you name a pattern, don't keep it to yourself. Share it, save it, and hit follow because next week, we're going even deeper. This is Chaotic and Unbothered, where we don't just break toxic patterns, we unlearn them, burn the rule book, and take our power back.